What of your homeland's been invaded? Perhaps by Iranians using a mothership. How do you
Ah,
feel?
I'm really curious as to what's going on. So what Kyle's talking about are drone sightings over New Jersey. Apparently, they're focused on military installations, Bedminster, Trump's area, and something else. Maybe it was power infrastructure. I don't know what's true. A lot of people are like, "Oh, they're Iranian drones. They're planning an invasion, etc." But I'm like, with their lights on, these drones have anti-collision lights on. They have 6-hour loiter times. I think they're civilian aircraft being called drones. I think that
So
they're just like misbranding stuff in this sort of hysteria, summer of the shark nonsense. That's my personal take on it. Um, but I don't know for sure. These are very expensive drones. They would be hundreds of thousands of dollars with a 6-hour loiter time. I've done my research in this. I've been an expert for hours. And um but apparently, like, you know how much a drone costs, like $1,000 or something for a
yeah,
little one that stays up for 15 minutes. A 6-hour loiter time and an extra large big drone with some sort of payload would be deep into the six digits, threatening seven. And um, I don't know what it is, but I just don't know why they'd have like Zach showing a picture right now with all the lights on. You're telling me these are spy planes with their lights on? Nuh-uh. Like
yeah.
it.
I had the same thought as well. There was a
Mm,
Republican lawmaker who was on who was on the news, and he was like, "I'm gonna tell you right now, Diane, and it's just I wouldn't say this if I didn't have evidences that I will not be able to provide next week.
mhm.
But there is an Iranian mothership that we have lost contact with. It could be off the coast of the east coast of America, and these drones are being launched from that mothership. They are returning to sea, and when we chase them, they turn their lights out." And it's like, bro, did you hear what you just said? When you chase
Mhm.
them, they turn their lights out.
Yeah.
I my g- like I obviously I don't know what the fuck they are, but I
Mm.
bet there's at least some degree of copycatting going on where like, oh, did you hear, dude? Everybody's freaking out about the New Jersey drones. Hey, don't you have a drone? Let's send it up tonight and freak the neighbors out. Like, look, there's one over there too. And like I could just see like every neighborhood has a block captain fucking with people with his drone. But to your credit, I saw those things too, and they look big. And they keep describing them not as a DJI drone or some hobbyist
Mhm.
drone, but as a big aircraft of some kind. It's weird they're turning their lights off. It's clearly not aliens. Um,
Mhm. I've seen that on Reddit a
I
lot.
see. I don't think very much of the Iranians and their abilities to do fuck all or anything at all technologically, and certainly not over here. Like I don't think it's the Iranians. I think
Didn't
that's
they
so
have
silly to say.
Am I crazy or do they have a lot of drones that they gave Russia for the Ukrainian war?
They do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and then they also attacked Israel with a big drone swarm at one point that was largely ineffective in
right.
combination with ballistic missiles and the cruise missiles.
But I can't believe there's a mothership off New Jersey, which is to say off New York. It's basically the same coast. That, that we're just like letting. Do you know how much like cargo traffic there is in that area? Like the longshoremen bringing, when they were going to go on strike in New York, it was going to shut down the whole auto industry. Yet there's a Iranian battleship out there, like a little drone aircraft carrier going unnoticed. I don't think
No,
so.
no, there's no way. I just don't believe the the idea that the Iranians could do that is absurd to me. Like I
Mm.
just can't imagine there's some like crack there's some crack vessel of Iranian James Bonds out there off the coast of New York in a stealth submarine, and they only surface at night to release their drones to do what? Uh, I've seen the Chinese have cool drones. I've seen them do like crazy stuff with their formations, but
Mm.
I don't know
Yes.
what they are. I like a little media hysteria whenever one of these crops up.
Mhm.
We shot down that Chinese balloon last year, whatever it was, and then it got
Mhm.
revealed that there'd been lots of Chinese balloons, and people are freaking out. This feels like that again. What
Mm.
I don't understand is why someone in leadership. I hate to blame everything on Joe Biden, but kind of wish the president would be like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about them drones. Don't worry about that. I talked to a guy who knows a guy. Not, don't worry about that." I wish you just say that. Like if you can't tell me that, oh, those are the drones we're using to install the new cell tower network, whatever secret you're doing, whatever reason you have for not telling me just straight up what those drones are about. I wish you'd just kind of wink and nod and let me know that you know. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
The ones in Jersey?
If they were
Yeah.
flying over Atlanta, I would be, I guess I wouldn't be concerned, but I would be a little worried. Are the CDC's here? You know, I always worry about that when it comes to Atlanta being targeted for any kind of like weird terror type thing. The CDC is like the number one bullseye on this city, I would imagine, other than sporting arenas and such.
So what is the theory with the drones?
We don't have one. We don't
There
have
aren't a
like,
lot of them. Kyle's on the same mindset of me. I kept talking about how they leave the lights on, which implies to me they're not like Iranian or Russian attack or surveillance things. They would try to be stealthier if that was the case. That's my own theory, and one I'm stealing from a military analyst. So that made sense to me. They last for a long time, so they're expensive, or they're not drones at all, and we're just like looking at Cessnas and calling everything a drone in a bit of hysteria. I mentioned the summer of the shark thing, where it was actually an average shark attack season, but it was on the cover of every magazine and news story every time a shark was spotted swimming in salt water, which is what they do. So this might be more of that. I don't know, but it's interesting, and I guess it's. I don't know. Now everyone's seeing lights in the sky and calling them Iranian attack drones. There are lights in the sky.
Is the fear that they're like really high tech, or do they seem low tech?
Well, so the news, which might not be reliable, is that they're spending time over like energy installations, Trump's Bedminster golf course home, and military installations. So you're not allowed to fly over some of these things. There's forget what they call the no-fly zones, like TFT, temporary flight restrictions, TFRs, and these temporary flight restrictions last for lifetimes. You know, there's one over at Disney World that never goes away, and anyway, there's temporary flight restrictions over these places, and you can't fly there yet. They are kind of invalidating the civilian aircraft thing. I mean, that's the first thing they teach you. But it's my own theory. I don't know, but it's interesting.
So you think it's clear? It does seem interesting. You guys know more about it than me. It seems like the no-fly. It seems like the no-fly list thing like would tell you exactly what you said. These aren't just people, like they're not hobbyists.
Or they could be liars, right? It could be like the shark thing, where it wasn't even true. Do we have video of them being over military installations in areas where they can't fly?
No. I've just seen video of the drones and to sort of work out a little bit of like, I don't know, where the lights are mounted and the shapes.
I haven't seen videos of it. I need to look
at it. The part about like where they've been flying near, I think is mostly sensationalized. I think that anytime they're near a thing, they're like, oh my God, can you believe it was right next to this? It's just like, and I want to talk about him in a minute. The fucking what do they call him? The adjuster, the adjuster. That Luigi Mangione guy, whatever his name is. They're calling him the adjuster.
I didn't know that. Okay,
they call him the claims adjuster. I saw there was an article and it was like Luigi Mangione played an online assassin game, and I was like, holy shit, he did? Which one? And I scrolled to the bottom. Among Us.
Yes,
it was Among Us, and they were trying to sensationalize his play of Among Us as like assassin hitman.